All right, everyone. Welcome to the Strongland May 2021 Q&A. We're going to begin with taking Anirudh's question. Hi, Anirudh. How are you doing?
Hi Harsh, I have two questions from two different subjects. One
Okay.
is how to start with copywriting, and the second is how do you stay dedicated to your all the tasks of a day?
To start with copywriting, you first need to have a product you want to sell. And the easiest way to do that is to sign up for some affiliate programs. The cost effective way after you have signed up for your affiliate programs is to start some kind of review website or a blog and put up your
Hmm.
reviews on that website, start an email list, and start sending out email newsletters to people who signed up to your list. If you have some money to spend, you can easily drop $100 or $200 a day on paid ads and learn that way. There are definitely books
Okay,
that you should read, like Cashvertising and the Boron Letters, but there's a lot you
okay.
can learn simply from experience. Sorry, can you repeat your second question just so that the readers can remember?
Yeah, how do you stay dedicated to all your tasks throughout the day?
The way I do it is that I just have a to do list and I start my day with the main objective of completing everything on my to do list. And I don't have any leisure time until my to do list is done. And that's all I do. It's a habit, nothing else.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna take the next question from Abbas. Hi Abbas, you can speak. Abbas, you can speak.
Uh, Hi, I hope you are doing fine. And I just want to know how to improve your mentality or improve your perspective on certain things.
That is a very broad and vague question that I can't answer. You have to be a bit more specific. Looks like you're gonna have to think through your question a bit more, and we'll get to answering Rao. Go ahead, Rao. You can speak.
Yes, thank you. Are you familiar with the web dev market, web development market?
I'm not very familiar with it. I know a lot of people who make a lot of money doing it, but I haven't done it myself yet. No, sorry.
So I'll basically give it a little background to it.
Mm-hmm.
I found this side of Twitter, your side of Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
about, I guess, 2 or 3 months ago. And before that, I had an offer to teach English to ICE students, in 50-50% partnership with an institute. So I
Okay.
basically rejected that and I started getting into web development and started learning. There was a lag, but I'm back at it now. My worries were basically these web builder apps. You see, these very specific question actually. These how much future do you see in web development industry? And there is
I
a
think
follow-up question.
first I'll answer this one. The current thing with web development for very small websites like small blogs and plug and play type things which don't require any specific or custom work, I don't think there's a big market for web development. I do know that people will sometimes pay $100 or $50 just to have someone install WordPress for them, but I think over the long run people will figure out how to do basic things like that for themselves, and this market will likely not be there for the long run. I definitely think that there's a big market for web development for custom software and websites that do more than just publish articles or have an RSS feed. So for more complex things and for non-standard or unique things, there is definitely a big market in web development.
Okay, thank you. The follow-up question was actually about something different. So it's something I struggle with, and I don't know why I do. So there's basically this thing, even when I'm meditating or something, so my heartbeat is always through the roof, and so is my anxiety. and I don't really see where it comes from because I'm not really. I don't really have a reason to be scared. I've gotten into fight with guys twice my size, and three, four guys at once, and still
Have you
there is this
ever
feeling.
measured your heart rate? Do you have a measuring device?
Yes, I have measured it.
How much is your average heart rate, resting heart rate?
Average, it is around 9800.
Okay, that is high.
Yes,
It's in the normal range, but I think the normal range is 60 to 100, right? So I think you're in the top end of the normal range. I think
yes.
if I think you definitely need to start going to the gym and lift heavy weights. From what I have read and researched, people who are very athletic, like high level athletes, tend to have extremely low heart rates. Some of them even have heart rates close to 45 and 40. And that's simply because their heart has become so strong at pumping blood because of all the athletic activity that they do. So maybe your heart rate being high is a symptom of not being athletic enough, and that is something you can work at.
I don't actually think it's that problem. I think it's something to do with social skills. I work out actually. I'm quite fit.
How
But
much can you squat?
how much can I squat?
Yes.
Before lockdown, I used to squat 120 kg.
Okay, that's good. Then it could just
Yes.
be and like,
So,
fear. It could be fear.
but
That would
what
just
is?
require more practice. Go ahead.
I
Sorry
can't
for
really get to
interrupting.
the. I can't really get to the root of it. I've tried everything. Like the fear, it amplifies when in social situations. When I'm around new people, and there's even above 100 my heartbeat goes. But even when I'm alone, even you see when I'm meditating, my heartbeat range is around 100 always.
I see. Maybe you just have a naturally high heart rate. I don't have a good answer to your question since I think the two most obvious solutions to me are getting more exercise and improving your stamina and strengthening your heart so that the baseline rate goes down, and practicing your social skills when you meet more people. Try and meet more and more people so this fear goes away. So this situation you have going on where you get anxiety whenever you meet more new people, that will reduce. But if those aren't helping you, then I think there's something deeper going on that I can't catch on a call. I unfortunately will not have a specific answer here. I think
Okay,
these two
okay,
things
I
should
understand.
help you. Okay. The next question I'm going to take is from Manik. Okay, Manik, you can speak.
Hi, I hope you're doing fine.
I'm doing well,
Uh,
Manik. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm going to turn 18 this July, and I have two questions. Uh,
Happy
one
birthday.
is one is that being raised by a single mother, I can still feel that I lost a father figure, and I can still feel the femininity inside me. I am in the personal development space since I guess 14. I've been hitting the gym regularly. I have been reading books. I have been meditating, but I still feel that I am still feminine on the basis like emotional and with women. So how do I proceed to with that?
With your emotions and with women, that's interesting. I think you're very young. First of all, congratulations on starting out so young. 14 is a very young age to get into self development, and you are almost 18 now. So well done. I think this problem is self solving given the mindset you seem to have. You will eventually pile up more wins as you go along. With women, it's a lot of it is about practice and just understanding how they are and not falling for the crap they give on to men. You will get better. I think you're on the right path already. There's nothing specific you need to do. Just keep working out, keep being fit, and keep accumulating wins. I think as you become more independent in your life, as you start making money, especially if you become a business owner in the future, you will start feeling the masculinity, testosterone in your body, just acting up and making you feel more manly. There are some good books you might want to read if you feel that you're not good or very emotional with women. One of them is The Rational Male, and the second is The Book of Book. The Book of Book is available on bookofbook.com, and the Rational Mail is a good book. You can buy it from Amazon. I highly recommend reading them.
Thank you. And my follow-up question is that my father is a wealthy businessman, but my mother and I haven't been staying with them since I was 12 or 13. So now that I have cleared NDA, my father says that don't join the Indian Army, join my business. The salary there is very low comparative to what my business is. So how do I proceed with that?
Why are you trying to join the army? Is it because of money or is it because of something else? Because if
No,
you're
it
trying to
was never because of money. It was my childhood dream. Since I was 3 or 4, when I started speaking, it was my goal to join the Indian Army.
see, if it was a dream, then the consideration of money does not arise. If you're not doing it for money, then the argument your father is making that it doesn't make enough money is not relevant, is it?
So do you suggest like breaking the relationship with my father to continue continue pursuing my passion?
I'm not suggesting that. I'm I'm saying that if you want to join the army, you should join the army regardless of what your father says, especially if his only consideration is money. I don't think that is something you need to break off a relationship with him for. I hesitate to tell you to do something rash because I haven't known you more than 2 minutes, but I think you don't have to break off a relationship. Just explain to him what you're going to do, and he should be fine with it. And if he's not, then you go ahead and do what you need to do.
His argument has basically just 2 points on he is very adamant about. One is that money, and second is like my passion was to go into special forces. So my father says we cannot risk the life of my children. So why don't you continue the path of my business?
This is not your father's decision to make, it's your decision to make. So that is something you will have to make. You should definitely consider his opinion and do what you think is right, and not do what he thinks is right, because when you do that, 5-10 years on the line, you're gonna always live with the feeling of what if. So I definitely think if you feel the right decision is to join the army, that is what you should do.
Thank you for your advice, man. Thank you so much.
Likewise, my friend, thank you for asking. The next question I'm going to take is from Ram Kumar. All right, Ram Kumar, you can speak.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for your so much for your contribution. It's worth value adding, and it's very helpful for improving in every aspect of my life so far.
Thank you, Ram.
Okay, so my doubt is I am a regular jogger. I have been jogging regularly in alternative days, and I occasionally do pranayama as well. So my doubt is recently I hear like by doing pranayama we can extend our life by some years, but in case of jogging, so we are actually breathing very fast, which will it actually impact something when compared to pranayama? Hope you are getting my point.
I get what you're asking. Basically, you're saying that in pranayam, you're learning to breathe slow, and in jogging, you're breathing fast, and they are both competing
Yes,
with each other.
but I love jogging very much
Okay.
compared to pranayama.
I don't think you have a problem here. I don't think your jogging will interfere with the pranayam. I'm not fully convinced by the idea that you can extend your life with pranayam. I don't know for sure because I mostly my most of my workouts are in the gym. I lift weights. I
Okay.
definitely think it has some benefits. One important thing I have to ask you is where are you jogging? Are you jogging in the sand or are you jogging in some kind of sand or sorry on a pavement or some tile thing?
In a road.
Yeah, don't do that. That's horrible for your knees. You're basically hammering your knees on very hard ground that has no give.
Okay,
You
even if
might
I wear branded shoes like
yeah
Adidas,
even
Nike.
even even if you're wearing expensive padded shoes, it still hurts your knees. I would not recommend jogging on the road. You need to find a slightly softer surface like mud or sand.
Okay, sure,
Okay,
sure.
happy to
Thank you.
help. The next question I will take is from Abhinav. Abhinav, you can speak.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my question. So I have a couple of questions. One is that how do I improve my negotiation skills? The reason I'm saying my negotiation skills is one is that whenever I feel I'm left behind in terms of my compensation or what I deserve in my profession, because when I joined my started off job during the global financial crisis. Right. And while negotiating with like I get an offer some time back, but I'm not able to. I open up very fast, boss. I try to justify it. Right. Right. After doing all the technical rounds, after discussion with HR. Right. So that, how do I improve it? How do I tell myself that I'm worth more, right? Or if I am still getting a good offer, I still feel I'm still lagging behind my peers. The first question would be that, please.
I think in this case, you need to find more options in the sense that if you can find one firm who's willing to pay you X dollars, you need to find another firm that's going to pay you a little more. And you should always find better offers to truly find out how much you're worth. I definitely think that if you feel lowballed, you should negotiate harder or not accept the position, because that's not, if you feel lowballed, then it's not right. And if you find yourself unemployed, then you find out that you're not actually worth as much as you think. It's difficult to say exactly how you should negotiate because there's a lot of factors involved. If you are in a place for a long time, then it's actually a bad idea to just switch because you lose a lot of political capital that you have built up.
Right, right. So
But
actually,
go ahead.
to give you precise, I will keep it short. So actually, I've been in the organization with a bank for 7 years. Right now, I had already got an offer. I had resigned. Right now, at the end of that offer, had given me a 30% jump. Right, because my salary was already very low. Then I just got an offer 2 days back. Right, so I'm a little guilty on asking a top up on my current offer. राइट आई एम स्टिल सेइंग कि बॉस ठीक है आप मेरे को 5% ही दो 10% ही दो एंड देन एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आई फील गिल्टी कि व्हाई आई एम नॉट एबल टू put across my points or not able to do that.
Why are you asking them to give you a lower offer? If they want, if you can get a 50% raise, get a 50% raise. Why are you holding yourself back? It makes no sense. This is
I'm
not
holding
something
back because already I had got a 30%. I don't want to push myself too hard. Right, because this opportunity is also very that's what makes me a little defensive, actually. Yeah.
What will happen if you push yourself too hard?
So either they will say ki boss take it or don't take it, right?
So then if you want, if you're gonna take the job, then just push it and then say I'll take it. If they say that, so you have nothing to lose.
Right. And just my another thing that sometimes there's overthinking. I overthink a lot, right? Overthink a lot, and in the conversations, I try to whenever two people are talking, I try something else other than is going in the mind in order to talk or put my point across. That hampers my listening skills, right? So how do I overcome that?
I think these are two separate problems. The
Right.
first problem of overthinking is meditation. You need to meditate more, and that will help strengthen your mind. For staying alert, that is something you just have to practice. Don't get into your head when other people are speaking and try to pay attention to what they're saying. It helps to ask them questions about what they say every few minutes, just so that you are in the moment.
Right. And just one final question. Whenever we
We
are
have
happy or sad, yeah, sorry.
only
Sorry.
one question per person. Sorry, it's everyone's waiting. All right, only one question per person from now. All right, Dodge Boy, you can speak.
Hello.
Hey, Dodge Boy, how are you?
Hey Harsh, thanks for having me.
Mhm.
My question was, I just recently started building my Twitter account, and it's doing pretty well. But I'm not sure what content to post there. Like I have a vague idea of what I want to talk about, but I have nothing specific. So
In that case, with the topic you're speaking about, you don't have enough experience with it. That's why you are only getting vague ideas and not specifics. There's a difference between experience and just making things up. And when you don't have experience and you only have observations of what other people are doing, you
Yeah.
cannot speak with certainty. So you need more experience to fix your problem. You need to get more experience with the topics that you are going to talk about. So if you're talking about money and you don't have money, then you will have to hypothesize and make up things. You will only have vague ideas of what you want to say. But you have done something, let's say you started a company and you sold it, then you will know the specifics and you will be able to give specific point to point advice. There's a difference. You need to get more experience. The next question I will take is from Nihal. Nihal Rathod, you can speak. Okay, it looks like he isn't here.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes, you are audible.
Okay, so thank you. I didn't want to lose this opportunity. So, Harsh, rather than asking about my problems, that will be in the next Q&A next month. I want to know about yourself. What does your day look like? As you said, you have no leisure time till you do your to-do list. So, what does your to-do list look like? And what do you do once the to-do is done? Like, what's your leisure? Like, people go and chill with their friends. Either they drink, either they smoke, either they binge watch. What does your leisure like look like? What made you who you are today? I want to know about yourself, like the Harsh Strongman.
All right, Nihal, this is probably not the right platform for this because this is a Q&A for reader questions. If you have a question about any problem you're facing, you're free to ask me that.
Maybe if you want to really help your dad, like my dad has a business, but I does not have any interest in his business. I am much more inclined towards the aviation field. I am also working in an aviation with an airline currently, but now my dad is approaching 60. So from deep down inside, as I'm growing up, 23, 24, deep down inside, I do feel now it's my time to, take over and help my dad in business. But I'm kind of guy, either I go all in or either I go all out. So I'm kind of like stuck between that. Like you say, start the business. Please.
What do you want to do?
I want to do an aviation. And if my long-term gain, I want to, get into the aviation business. Not just normal. I want to make some revolutionary product. I want to give a very good solution to the current existing problems which are in the aviation, and then also want to help towards what the future of aviation will look like.
Then
I want to be a part of that.
Do. You should. That's what you should try to do at least. Maybe you can do your father's business on the side if possible for the money. And I definitely think that if you truly want to do aviation, then that's what the main focus of your life should be. But I also know for a fact that money is important. So you might also want to do the practical side, make some money with the dad's business before going into aviation.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Thank you for that. That's a good advice. That's what I think sometimes. Either I could, in the side, I could help my business, help my dad, and in the side, I can work. And I really want to start. I do have some ideas, but it's just what, the starting what holds you back. Once you're into it, you're in it. I just need to start.
Yes, you need to start, and you will figure the rest out. The next question I'm going to take is from Arvind. All right, Arvind, you can speak.
Am I audible?
Yes, Arvind, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Harsh. So my question is actually about cryptocurrencies. Is this like okay to ask on this platform?
Go ahead. I love cryptocurrencies.
All right. So my first question is actually in a world where fiat currencies won't exist, the governments won't have a way to collect taxes, right? So in that world, how would public goods?
They will still have a way to collect taxes. Just because the world is crypto does not mean that there will be no taxes. The government will still collect taxes.
But if you don't know who's paying and how much, who's receiving money and how much they're receiving, how can you collect taxes on top of that?
Well, for example, let's say you buy a TV.
Right.
You buy it from Amazon. Well, the government knows that someone paid something to Amazon. So it knows Amazon has made some money. So it's going to take taxes from Amazon. It knows the TV was delivered to some person.
Right.
So it's going to take taxes from that person. It knows where the money has come from because the TV was delivered to an address.
Right.
I think for digital products, it's going to be tougher. And I think people will surely find ways to evade taxes. but I don't
Got
think
it.
it's going to be impossible to collect taxes.
Got it. So the second thing is like I have like a little bit of disagreement about the governments cannot block like these cryptocurrencies. My doubt comes from this thing, right? Like government owns a lot of resources. They own almost all of the power supply in the world. I mean, they have aircraft carriers and all these things that produces a lot of electricity, and even the compute powers, right? Power, right? They have supercomputers and stuff. So
Okay.
I was thinking they could easily do a 51% attack. And then the second thing is, like we also what happened in Kashmir. Like these people can actually go and take the entire network out if they wanted to. So, like there, like the argument is kind of like if you don't expect a government to be like really that bad that they will go ahead and like uh, take down the entire network. Like why don't you trust them to not inflate your currency?
I didn't understand your question entirely. I think what you are saying is that a government can still take down a network, internet
Uh,
access in a particular area.
Yes, without internet access, this won't be able to work, right? If like what happened with Kashmir, if you had like an entire internet blackout.
Yes, I think that's definitely a possibility, and that would always be a drawback of digital cash. But that's the government can do that for anything. The government can cut off gas supply, and how will you cook your food? Or the
Right,
government might cut off electricity as a whole. So
right.
there's no end to it. I think physical cash, some of it will always be around, but there's no end to this conversation. The government can do anything it wants that it controls. The
Got it.
thing with cryptocurrencies is that the government has no control over supply. It can't print more, and that's it.
Got it. So what about this thing, like with respect to the power supply and all? So they have a lot of power supply and also the compute power, right, compared to
What
rest of
would
the
a
individuals.
51% attack accomplish? Let's say they do a 51% attack on.
Right, they could
Let's
wipe out all the coins or like
They,
all the
they
account.
can't. They can't. They can, the only thing, if they do a 51% attack on, let's say, Bitcoin, the
Right,
worst that can happen is that they can print a lot of empty blocks. They can't spend
right.
anyone's cryptocurrencies because they don't have the private keys, and they can't create fake cryptocurrencies. They can't increase their coin base to a bigger amount because once again the block will be rejected because it would be invalid. So it can basically be only a denial of service attack for as
Got
long
it.
as they're doing the 51% thing. So they'll just be wasting electricity for a denial of service attack. I,
Got
I
it.
don't know why a government would do it, but it won't stop the network. It'll only delay things.
Because it would
And
be like you are giving up your sovereignty, right? Like if you allow someone else to print currency for your citizens, like if
no,
you
it's not.
cannot print.
Actually, that's not true. There was this the idea of a government-backed currency is fairly new. When currency was a thing, governments were not a thing. For example, when we had salt as currency in Rome, salt was not being printed by the Roman government. Or when cattle was currency in India, the government was not making cattle. The currency is currency. The government is separate.
But they were able to control the supply and demand, right? Like I mean, they could bring in
No,
artificial scarcity or
no. This is a new thing with fiat. By the
right.
way, Adarsh, a reader of mine, has pointed out that in case without internet, people can still exchange private keys, and that can be considered as payment. So that is an interesting thing as well.
Got it. So which year do you think like fiat will go away? Like or like
I
there
think
will be.
Arvind, one question per person. Sorry,
Got it. Okay, just an estimate of the year, like that would be my answer.
I don't know. I have no idea when fiat will go away. Maybe in the next 10 years, next 20, but it's a matter of time. Now I'll take the question from Surya. Go ahead, Surya. You can speak. Surya, you can speak.
Yeah, hi. You said we have to surround ourselves with some successful people.
Yes.
So the people we surround ourselves with, how successful they should be. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, if we are on 7 or 6, can we surround ourselves with people who are 2 or 1?
I assume 1 is the highest here, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if you are very low in the hierarchy, people who are very successful will not even consider the idea of you being around them seriously. They will not want to be around you. when your value is too low, you need to go in isolation and work on yourself till your value is higher, so that successful people are interested in even becoming friends with you. I think that there's only, say, 10, or if you are at a level, at a particular level, you can only go up 50%, 60%. If you go up too high, people will not take you seriously. You need
Yeah,
to
yeah, that's it.
go above a bit and then change your circles as you keep working on yourself. You can't aim too high, because the other guy gets to choose as well, and he has nothing to gain from being friends with you. The next question I'll take is from Krishna. Krishna, you can speak.
Harsh, are you able to hear me?
Yes, how are you, Krishna?
I'm good, Harsh. How are you?
I'm well.
Harsh, I have a question regarding cryptocurrency. So I've been reading about DeFi for a while, and I understand about lending, borrowing, and farming and all that stuff. I started with trading a few months back. So I wanted to ask you, should we concern ourselves at this point with all these DeFi apps, because it's really expensive to move our coins from exchanges to a wallet, and then from wallet to a DeFi app, right? For example, Uniswap. And then again, the gas fees on lending and borrowing. Should we concern ourselves with that, or just keep trading, buy low and sell high?
Okay, so first of all, I don't trade cryptocurrencies. I just buy and I hold on for dear life.
Okay.
So I can't give you advice on how to trade the currency, because I have zero experience with trading. I usually buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I just buy and keep them forever. I think there's a lot of value in a lot of these DeFi coins, but the problem with DeFi right now is that it also has a lot of rug pulls and scams, and it takes a lot of time to research if the project you're investing is actually a real project. And since I don't have that time, I don't do it. I just invest in things I know. So unfortunately, I won't be able to tell you what to do with DeFi. I do agree that the gas fees are too high, especially for Uniswap transactions. So you might, if you're just trading, I don't think you should get it off the exchange. For if you are a trader, if you're an investor, then don't keep any coin on the exchange. Okay, the next question I'll take is from Anirudh. Go ahead, Anirudh, you can speak.
Hi, Harsh. Harsh, on the similar lines, can you tell me what is your view with regards to investing in the stock market or in the Indian equity stock markets? Should we go for blue chips, mid cap? Any light on that?
Right now, I don't have a very big equity portfolio because of crypto. I'm mostly into crypto right now. With the stock market, I think right now we are seeing a lot of inflation, and holding anything other than cash is a good idea, which includes the stock market. So that's a pretty nice idea. Generally, my strategy with the stock market has always been to buy dividend paying shares. If a company pays good dividends, I would buy it, especially in India, because in India, I find that a lot of promoters are not honest. They tend to cheat investors. And when a company has to regularly pay dividend, then the scope of getting rug pulled by the investor is low, because he has to generate cash. Otherwise, he won't be able to pay the dividend, which is why I personally pick dividend paying stocks. In the future, I think I will invest in tech stocks, but for now, I'm mostly into crypto and dividend paying stocks. I hope that helped.
Thanks.
By the way, this call is not investment advice or anything. Do your own research. The next question I'll take is from Abhinav. Go ahead, Abhinav, you can speak.
Hello, are you listening me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. And what about you? How are you?
I'm doing well too. What's the question, Abhinav?
Yeah, what's your views on Ethereum and Ethereum Classic? And on what basis Ethereum got its value, like one Ethereum is equal to $3,000 or 2,000 USD dollar? Because it is totally different from Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin have a 21 million cap, and I don't find Ethereum has that kind of cap on supply.
Ethereum gets its value from demand and supply, just like any other cryptocurrencies. It has some value in use, as it can be used to buy gas to run smart contracts, but at the end of the day, it's just demand and supply. The difference between Ethereum Classic and Ethereum is that when the DAO contract got hacked, Ethereum's community bailed out the DAO,
Okay.
and the people who did not agree with the bailout, the people who did not agree that the hackers' money should be taken away, created Ethereum Cash, and some miners did not switch to Ethereum, and the miners who did not switch continued to keep mining Ethereum Classic, and this was
Yeah.
eventually listed on an exchange, and then with demand and supply, its value was determined. Personally, and this is just my opinion, I think that the chain that's actively in development is the normal Ethereum chain, and some of the changes are ported to Ethereum Classic. So I don't see
Yeah.
the long-term value of Ethereum Classic, but people do seem to like it because it's going to be proof of work forever. So it's a pro and con thing, and it depends on which side of the ideology you are on. I'm going to take the next question from Professor Abhishek. All right, Professor, you can speak.
Hi, Harsh. My question, because lots of guys are asking about trading and other things. I'm doing quite a bit of it, and I have no idea what Bitcoin is really. But in case you talk about stock market or anything, there has to be a basis behind. Like in stock market, there is a technical analysis. Things are based on chart, the value,
I
the
get what you're
way.
trying to say. Your question is basically that Bitcoin does not have any underlying value while stocks have a company behind them, correct?
No. There is one more thing. I'm not giving any recommendation again. My point is, people are taking Bitcoin seriously. That is okay, but when the exchange is charging you so much of money, such as brokerage, they barely get any profit out of it. So why don't they stick to Indian market in case they don't have lots of money? This is my question. And what I mean, I don't understand. People don't have a portfolio which is quite big to gauge the Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can make you a multimillionaire later on. But I guess that needs to be
I, I
addressed.
think I think you have answered your question in the beginning when you said you don't know anything about Bitcoin, and I think you need to do more research. Go to teachyourselfcrypto.com and learn more about it, because the question is kind of extremely vague, and since you don't know the basics of crypto, I can't even explain it to you. The way I will put it is like this: stocks are different from currency. Currency and stocks are two different things entirely. Stocks are backed by companies, currencies are not. The value is always demand and supply. With currency, the value is what people agree the value is. For example, the Indian rupee is just a piece of paper. The US dollar is just a piece of paper. People agree it has value, and that's why it has value. And the same applies to cryptocurrencies. The reason why people attribute more value to cryptocurrencies is that they are superior to the current system of currency because they lack the infinite printing that goes on with the regular currency. And because it lacks the infinite printing, people think that cryptocurrencies will eventually replace currency or fiat currency itself. And since adoption is not very high yet, it's probably less than 1%, it'll be worth far more than it currently is. And that's why people are buying it right now. I hope that answered your question, although you definitely need to read more about Bitcoin before forming opinions about it. I'm going to take the next question from Anuj. Arjun, sorry.
Yeah. Hi, Harsh. So my question is completely different from other people. It's basically related to relationships and marriage. Should we consider the angle of how religious your spouse is, or the person you're getting into a relationship with, how religious she should be? Because I've seen that people who married each other and they were not so religious, their children they turned out to be left wing hypocrites.
Yeah, low morals.
Yo this generation.
I think that it's important for your spouse to have a similar worldview to yours. So it makes sense to, if you are religious, it makes sense to marry someone who's religious as well. I definitely have seen the same thing where people who don't have a lot of moral values, their children tend to be even worse. And that just
Mm-hmm.
goes to show that we are losing values with every generation.
So, I mean, like, I'm 22 right now, and I'm a Hindu, and I'm
Mhm.
from Haryana, which is comparatively conservative in terms of everything. So we are quite conservative as compared to the rest of India in terms of culture and all. But in my 22 years, I haven't met a single strictly religious Hindu girl or women in my whole life. Like my mother is religious, but girls of my age, Hindu girl, they were not religious at all. But when it comes to Muslim girls, I see that they're a bit attached to their religion a lot. They respect their partners much more. They obey their partners, and they are much more mature in terms of thinking and everything.
I agree with you. I think that there's too much liberalism going on everywhere, and it's affecting the values and morals people have today. I don't want to comment on the Hindu and Muslim thing, but I
Okay,
still think that I do think that people become more religious as they age. So it could just be an age thing where if when let's say your mother you say is religious would have been
uh-huh.
less religious when she was 22, and as she has
No, I
grown
don't think
older,
so. So I
no
don't
one
know.
thinks so, but I don't know for sure. I don't know your mom, but what I'm saying is that people tend to become more religious as
Religious
they
as
grow
they
older.
as they turn older. Yeah, of course, you're right in this. I don't know. I mean, girls that I've seen
But yes,
around me,
it's a difficult question to answer, my friend. You need to find one. You don't have to find 20, so you need to find just one. The next question I'll take is from Latesh Bayad. All right, Latesh, how are you?
Yeah,
Hey, Latesh,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please
Yeah,
speak.
I'm doing pretty well. So I'm currently in my 20s, like in 18, 19, and I have a very specific question that as people say that successful people have a good mindset, and when someone's in their 18 and around that age, they can change their mindset pretty easily because they can adapt newer behaviors very quicker than others. So how do you think about that? And how can we make sure that we are learning the right things for a better future? Because we don't know what's right and wrong at this age, so how do you think about those things?
So the reason why people are able to change their opinions much more easily when they are younger is because they are less invested and their brain is more plastic. So they are less ego invested in their ideas. The way you ensure that you don't go crazy like the leftists do currently is to always question whether your beliefs are true or not, in the sense that when you let's say you believe something and you see evidence that it's not true, you have two options. You can either change your opinion, you can do some introspection and actually change your thought process and mental models, or you can start calling things racist, sexist, or whatever, and try to project your wished or your worldview onto reality. And doing the latter is much easier. It doesn't hurt your emotions as much when you just project your reality on the when you project your emotions on the world. But it also makes you slightly deranged every time you do it. So if you want to be sane and if you want to constantly improve, you need to make sure that your mental models are good. And whenever you find an inconsistency with reality and your mental model, always assume that reality is correct and your mental model is wrong, and try to keep making your mental models more and more accurate. To give you an example, if you have a crazy belief, like if you think all currencies should have equal value, but you go in the real world and you find that currencies have different value, the Zimbabwean dollar is worth nothing and the US dollar is worth $1, then you need to change your mental model. You need to adjust what you think, and you shouldn't go and start calling money sexist. Like this is sexist, they're both dollars, so they should be worth the same. Don't do that. Try to make sure that you are aligned with reality. I'm going to take the next question from Nihal. All right, Nihal, you can speak.
Thank you for having me, Harsh.
Mhm.
So I think it's safe to say that you have become very skilled and proficient at written content creation. And according to what my limited understanding is, that controversial content gets a lot of views. What, according to you, is the type of content that gets the most eyeballs?
Well, controversial content gets a lot of views, but it's a little more tricky than that. A lot of people will try to produce controversial content just to get views, and that you will see could be like a scandal or something. That doesn't work as well. It'll get you views, but it will never build you an honest audience. What you want to do is you want to find truths that people think are controversial, and then you can use that to get more eyeballs on your content. I think the easiest way to get eyeballs is to be a hot chick. I've seen girls on Twitter who will the display picture will be like a hot chick, and they will get a lot of followers very quickly. I don't know what the value of those followers are and how much they actually care about the person who's speaking and how much they actually take how seriously they take them. But from what I've seen, the easiest way to get a lot of people to see your content is to be a cute girl, and that works on Instagram, it works on Twitter, it works on YouTube. RP can speak.
Hello.
Hi
Am I
RP, how
audible?
are you? Yes.
Hey Harsh, thank you so much for having me. And your content is just amazing, man. Just amazing.
I'm glad you find it helpful.
Yeah. So my main question is related to jogging.
Okay.
I've started jogging since past 6 months, and
Okay.
I've started my journey on soil.
Okay.
Then later I've shifted to jogger's track. You know, the track which is covered from red
Yes.
sand.
Yes.
And
Yes.
right now I'm on athletic track.
You're
But
on what?
I'm right now running on athletic track.
Okay. What is athletic tracks?
Athletic track is like, track of red color,
Okay.
in
Okay.
which Arnold used to run, kind of tracks.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I've found some videos on YouTube where they said athletic tracks are not for jogging, they are for sprinting.
I'm not sure. I don't know too much about athletic tracks or jogging because I don't jog.
Okay.
So I won't be able to help you. Sorry.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, I've
Mhm.
heard that one should keep changing our tracks. So what do you think?
I have no idea, my friend. I
Okay.
don't jog.
No problem. Thank you so much, Harsh.
See, I like to go to the gym. I don't jog. I find it very tedious, and I did try jogging, but it started messing with my knees, so I stopped. I'm gonna take Adarsh's question again. He says he's trying from mobile now. All right, Adarsh, you can speak.
Hi, Ash.
Hey, Adarsh, how are you?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, man, fantastic. Okay, so basically, I actually even messaged you the question. You talk about how to be like in your Twitter account, you talk about how being particular way is important, how ignoring certain stuff is important. So basically, what's the purpose behind all this? Like to explain it further, based on a person's enlightenment, their purpose may vary from meeting someone, like someone wants to be a king. It can vary from small thing to a big thing. But ultimately, you see what all happened in life now, particularly in the last 2 months, seeing people, uh, their old dreams getting destroyed from small events like COVID. It makes me question what's the end game, like what's the purpose behind what we are striving for, based on your perspective.
No one knows what the end game is, and I'm not even going to pretend that I know what the end game is. There's different religions that have different ideas on what it is. The main reason I say we have to be in a particular mindset that is being productive is whatever your current goals are, it'll help you achieve those goals, and it'll help you not get distracted. But what is the ultimate objective of life? I have no idea. I will say that according to Hinduism, it is to accumulate as much dharma as you can. The next question I will take is from Shubham. All right, Shubham, go ahead. You can speak.
Hello,
Hi, Shubham. How are you?
I'm fine, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well too.
Brother, I would like to ask, most of your subscribers, your followers would be like young people. So, most of the young people suffer from the lack of clarity and lack of direction. And there is too much information around us in today's era. So, there is a lot of confusion. So, I'm just asking that how should we, how do we know that we are in the right direction, or how should we find that what do we want to do?
How should we find that? What do we? Okay, I think we have lost audio for Shubham. I think what he's asking is that there's a lot of information going on in the world and there's a lot of things to do. And how can we be sure that we are heading in the right direction, especially when you're young and you don't know what exactly what you want to do with your life? I think that even when you're young, there are certain things that everybody would want, that is good physical health, money, success, a career or something that you want to build, and a good relationship, getting married, having children. I think those are commonalities which apply to 99.9% of humans. And that is where you should focus on. If you know nothing about yourself, you need to keep trying different things. And the way you know that you're on the right path is that every year you will find that you're constantly getting better and better, and the distance between you and everyone else is increasing every single month, every single year. You keep getting better, 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 and they are always where they are. The next question I will take is from Sid B. Okay, Sid, you can speak.
Hello,
Hey Sid, how are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm well too.
Thank you for all the wisdom that you're sharing with us. My question to you is that I'm struggling with consistency in my life and business as well. And because of that, my dad has various businesses. So one day I'm in business A, one day I'm in business B. I don't know what I want to do.
I have an article on this with the exact same title. The article is called "I Don't Know What I Want to Do," and read this. So go read that article. The basic gist is that there's two different reasons why this is the case. One is that you already know what you want to do, but you don't want to admit it, and the second is that you just lack enough experience. And in that case, you just have to try out a lot of different things. I would definitely say read that article. There's also a YouTube video I have on that article, so you might want to check that out as well. The next question I'll take is from Ron. Ron Mack. You can speak.
Hi Harsh, just I wanted to ask you, what are your tips or methods for dealing with anxiety?
I rarely get anxiety, but every time I feel uncomfortable doing something, I always do it. In fact, I make it a point that if my heart rate or if I feel that uncomfortable or scared of something, I make it a point that I do it anyway. And I've gotten to a point that I barely feel anxious or scared for anything. I think that is the best solution. Just keep doing things that scare you, and eventually, very few things will scare you. Because at the end of the day, the cost of failure is nothing. We live in a world that even if you embarrass yourself extremely, even if you do something very, very stupid, the next day everyone will just move on with their life. No one will remember, and there is no cost to failure. So you can just keep trying. The next question I will take is from Zobo. All right, Zobo, please speak.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is with the current state, the Bitcoin is like falling, but in the near future, nobody knows exactly how far it will go. So let us take, suppose it goes very high and the Bitcoin price reaches to such a high that it becomes unviable for buyers to buy. So the people will be richer on paper, but they'll be not able to sell because there will be no buyers. So what do you think of this situation happening?
I don't think of Bitcoin as an asset class. I think of Bitcoin as a currency. So I don't think this question applies. It's also technically impossible because there's too much liquidity in Bitcoin for it to say go to a point where no one is willing to buy. And if that happens, the price will just drop. Secondly, I don't think it's relevant what the price is. I think the future is cryptocurrencies, and whatever price you can get it, it's cheap, in my opinion. This is not investment advice. The next question I'll take is from JH. Oh, wait, someone pointed out you're asking that the question you're asking is that one single Bitcoin is priced so high that you can't use it. So you can still, one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. It's divisible. You don't have to buy one full Bitcoin. You can buy 100 millionth of a Bitcoin and you can send 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. You can divide it into very, very small fractions. So the price of one full Bitcoin is not relevant. I'm sorry, I did not understand your question in the beginning. Thank you, Adarsh, for pointing that out. I will take 5 more questions. So let's take Robin's question. All right, Robin, you can speak.
Hi, Harsh. How are you?
Hi, Robin. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you. So I follow a few people like you and so on. I also follow Ayurveda and I follow FitTuber and some example in way, right? So there are so many things I know what to do in life that is sorted, but that there is a lack of discipline. So like I know what to read. I'm into technology, so I know I want to read cloud. I have to improve my communication skills, and I know what I have to do. There is a lack of discipline. So anything on that?
See, when you know what you have to do it. The lack of discipline thing is an excuse. You've basically labeled yourself as I have low discipline, and then you are giving yourself an excuse to have low discipline. I can't force your hands to move. If you have to go to the gym, I can't push you to go. Something you have to do yourself, and no one else can do it for you. See, when you're hungry, do you have to have discipline to eat? You don't. Your body will just, it'll bother you to the point that you'll have to start eating something or you will starve to death. It's like that. If you care about something enough, this excuse of I lack discipline will not arise in the first place. So you need to truly want what you are trying to want. And secondly, a lot of discipline is just about momentum. I have an entire program on this. It's on gum.co/stuff. It's called Live Intentionally 90-day self-improvement program. So you can take that. But truly your problem is just momentum. Just keep doing, and don't give yourself that excuse that I lack discipline. So it's okay for me to lack discipline. The next question I'm gonna take is from Donvesh. And Donvesh is a pretty cool guy from Twitter. I like his content. How are you, Donvesh?
I didn't expect for my request to be accepted. Thanks, Harsh. So first of all, I want to thank you for your Twitter guide. Like I just crossed 10K Twitter followers, so that's really great.
Congratulations.
So if anyone here is interested in your Twitter guide or growing their Twitter following, like I would highly recommend your Twitter guide. Like it's short and sweet. I didn't have a look at the new update yet, but the older version was good. Yeah, I don't have a question. I just wanted to mention this.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like the Twitter guide. I appreciate you, Devesh. The next question I'll take is from the guy, Wolf of Wall Street. You can speak.
Hi Harsh, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. So my question was how to implement what we read in books. Like I have read Chanakya Niti and I followed it for a few days and then I like forgot what the chapters are in there. So I have to read it twice after a month and that's the problem. So you should implement it after reading and then go to another book, or you just keep reading the books and then implement what is it in?
I get your question. Basically, you're asking me if a book has 10 things to implement, by the time you implement one thing, you've forgotten the other nine. And that's going to be a recurring problem. Unless you reread a book several times, you're going to miss quite a bit of the advice in it. And that is just something that you have to live with. Regarding forgetting things after a couple of days, I don't think that should happen. It means you're not reading it very seriously. You need to make some notes if that is happening. When you read, make some notes and try to seriously implement things in your life. Try to make notes and see if today I did XYZ things, tomorrow I'll do XYZ things, and try to keep a record of things. So in that way you won't forget and things will actually sink into your personality. The next question I'll take is from WebHub, and I'm only gonna take 3 more questions. Okay, WebHub, you can speak.
Hi Harsh, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good too. Okay, so this is my question. I stay with my mom and my two aunts, and more than I am attached to them, they are really, really attached to me.
Hmm.
And I'll be entering the last year of engineering real soon. So I'm really confused whether I should be going abroad for my studies. So, like, if I do, am I not being a support to my family in their old age? Or say if I do, then am I not stepping out of my comfort zone? So I'm
I
really
think if
confused
it
with
will
this
help
one.
your career to go abroad for education, that's what you should do, assuming that you will come back at some point or ship your aunt and your mom to whatever country you'll be at. So if you're going to be away for a couple of years, I don't think you're abandoning anyone. I think if that is the career path you have to take, then that's the career path you have to take. And I assume you're going to be back eventually after you're done with your education to take care of your parents.
I really fear that would be too long. Uh, and
See, at the
I
end of the
really
day,
feel that I'll miss out on a lot of family life.
this is a personal decision that you have to make. What do you value more? And the only one who can make that decision is you. The next question I will take is from Kumar. And this is the second last question for today. Go ahead, Kumar, please speak.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Harsh. My question is regarding asset allocation.
Okay.
What should be the asset allocation of a 25 years old in various asset classes like crypto, debt, stocks, gold, in percentage terms, like he wishes to
It
hold for
really
at least 10 years?
depends. There's no bumper sticker answer for everyone. It depends. If you have extremely high risk tolerance, like me, and you have a high income and you don't need money, then you should definitely, in my opinion, you need to be higher on crypto. But if you can't afford to lose money, then you need to have lower risk things in your portfolio. So it depends. There's no bumper sticker answer as to this specific percentage for this age. The next question I take is from Ashwini, and this is my last question for today.
Yeah, hi Harsh. Am I audible?
Yes.
Great. So thanks Harsh for having me. Just wanted to have a small question regarding the passive income sources that you have writing on Twitter about. So
Mhm.
could you just share some brief knowledge on it or some article that a person who is living, who is working out from India, out of India, can have something helpful on it?
See, there are traditional passive income sources that you can just buy and hold, like stocks or bonds. And then there are businesses which don't involve a lot of active management. And when I say passive income sources, that's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to businesses that don't involve a lot of management and a lot of content creation. An example of a business like that can be a niche website that you set up once and you have a product or an offer on there or an affiliate link, and people can click and buy forever as they come from Google. Another example is Twitter bots that I have. You can find out how to make them from my Twitter guide, The Art of Twitter. There are many examples of what you can do that don't involve a lot of work after you have set it up. Before you have set it up, you will have to work a lot to create the basic audience. But after you have set it up, after you have the audience, it's almost passive. I think that should answer your question. Okay, I'm going to take one final question from Being Thinker.
Yeah, Harsh, thanks a lot for taking one more question from me. And the question is the follow-up question regarding the passive income streams. So, are there
Are
any?
you the same guy?
No, I'm not the same guy. I just got this like follow-up thing regarding the passive thing. So, any specific sources like see there are a lot. I know like passive source of income are being a stockbroker particularly or being an affiliate. So, any specific passive incomes where you don't want to invest some time and where you can like invest something like 2 lakh rupees and keep on minting something 5 to 6 lakh rupees per annum. Any particular sources if you could help?
See, the question you're asking is, can I do something that does not involve a lot of work and does not involve capital, and how can I make money from it? And that does not exist. If you want to create some automatic passive business, in the beginning, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. And after it is successful and after you already have the basics and the platform set up, only then it becomes passive. There is nothing in the world where you can just reap free returns that are risk free and that don't involve capital and that don't involve work. So unfortunately, you're looking for something that does not exist. Okay, this concludes today's or this month's Q&A session. I hope you got your question answered. And if you didn't, you can leave it in the Strongland chat group and people can discuss it with you. Have a good day.